When she misses, you know? Look at me. It's not too bad, and the rain has stopped for now. Like, we get subtle sprinkles, but this is much better than when it's hot. Cozy. So I just had my intern meeting, my meeting with the Assign on the Door crew, and it was really nice. Like I said, I hadn't seen them in 2 weeks, so it was really great getting updated, seeing what they're gonna write this week. I'll put all the information for Assign on the Door down below if you wanna write something and contribute to the publication. It's growing in a really exciting way, and it just feels really good to help facilitate like young, my team is all women, and just facilitating like a really awesome group of young women in writing and finding their own voice in writing. It's been a cool experience. I talked a lot this meeting. I had a lot of updates for them and a lot of ideas. I just had a wonderful rib tortilla for lunch. I ate really quickly, within 20 minutes, because I am about to be a guest on the Career Success podcast with Jason Connolly, and I'm really excited about it. I don't know what he's gonna ask me, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna hopefully promote the book a little bit, but also just talk about what it's like to freelance and run my own business. Kind of like what this whole video is about, like what the benefits are and what's kind of a harder part of being a freelance business owner. I think that interview went really well, and it's coming out on Friday of the week that this video is going to go up. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, the extrovert in me always feels so much better after having conversations with new people, and even just with groups of people. Like, I feel like Mondays are usually a pretty good day for me because I have my intern meeting, and then usually I have therapy. Getting to talk to new people is always really nice, and I feel like Jason asked a lot of really awesome, important questions, and I stumbled, but not too much, so hopefully he won't have too much editing to do. And yeah, that just felt really good. And the more podcasts and stuff I do, the more I'm able to donate to LGBT organizations, which is really great because people tend to hear the podcasts and then buy the book, which always feels really good. I want to figure out a way, I wonder if there's a way that I can implement some sort of thing that will let me know where people are coming from when they buy the book, or what they heard about it from, because then I can do more of those things. So like podcasts, for example, I think are pretty good. And then when I go and speak at organizations and schools and stuff, I think that really helps too. But yeah, that was really fun. Somehow it's already almost 2 o'clock. I feel like this whole day is basically gone now, but I'm gonna go take like a half-hour break and play with the dogs and hang out with Tony. And then I'm gonna come back and actually do some writing. Oh, and I also need to copy edit a little bit. I guess I'll come back and see how I feel. Zuko. I had a little too much screen time, so I'm gonna take like a 10 to 20 minute lie down here on the couch just to give my eyes a break. And then I gotta write before Pilates. Yeah. So I'm at the park now. I ended up deciding not to write. I uploaded the interview that I'm writing from, and it was about 30 minutes of read time. Most Medium articles I try to do between 5 and 8 minutes of read time, so I just kind of chilled out. I applied to teach a couple of courses through a couple of arts organizations in Memphis, just because I miss teaching, and I know I'm going to be teaching in August, but I don't want to be waiting around for that much longer. And then I just decided to come and get here early to see if I can get a couple of shots of the Pilates in the park without like bothering anybody. So we'll see. If there are shots that come after this, then that means that I was successful. If not, it means that there were people around and I didn't want to make anybody feel weird. I'm just now realizing, okay, good, I do have a mask. I got really nervous that I didn't have a mask for a second, but I do. And I'm excited. This is going to be my first time doing this, and it's actually going to be my first group fitness class since this whole thing started, which is wild because I love group fitness. When I was in DC, I was always going to bar classes and cycle classes and stuff like that. I had a ClassPass account, so all of it was way cheaper than usual. And I just haven't been able to do that lately, so I'm really looking forward to this. And I'm gonna see a couple of friends I haven't seen in a while, so I'm excited. But yeah, I think part of freelancing is like feeling what you're feeling and doing work that makes sense for your mental state at the time. Obviously, when you have deadlines and stuff, that's harder to do. But if you have the flexibility to be like, I don't really feel like writing right now, I'm more in a reading mood, or in a personal education mood, or in a apply for freelance positions and jobs and like quote people and sorry, not quote people, but pitch people mood, which is kind of the mood I was in this morning, then actually not just this morning, but all day, I just pitched a lot of people. Then allowing yourself to do that I think is important because my brain, it was telling me that it didn't feel like writing, and so I wasn't going to write something good. But I'll see. I'll give myself some space to potentially do some of that tonight during the Bachelorette, because I have an article idea about that, and I can see me at least outlining that while we're watching. And then tomorrow I'm going to be editing this vlog, but I'll also probably do a little bit of writing. I tend to feel more like writing on video editing days. My hair is so blue, and the blue more so than the pink got on everything. So my hair might be blue for the rest of my life just because it gets everywhere, and it's also not fading nearly as quickly as my other hair colors. So we'll see. I like it. It's just, ooh, I just messed that up. I like it. It's just very, very, very bright. So it's something that I have to get used to. Yesterday I didn't get to get a whole lot of footage of the yoga, but I'm glad that I did it. I think it loosened up muscles that I really needed loosened up, especially from sitting like mostly. So I have this that's supposed to help. Here, let me set you down so that I can actually show you. My studio is very, very messy, but basically I got this moffed computer razor situation so that when I use the computer, the idea is that I would be looking forward like this, but even with this tool, I'm looking down. So I'll push it back, and that helps a little bit, but I still think I need, more like up. So I'm glad that I went to yoga because I think it helped me remember that posture is something that I need to be thinking about. I was also thinking during yoga about how, as much as I loved filming my vlog yesterday, I think that I didn't talk about some of the downsides of freelancing, which is important. Being able to control what I'm doing every day is really great in a lot of ways, and being able to work for myself and work from home, but there is an inconsistency there, and pitching work can be really exciting, but then getting the rejections is always really tough. And it's not seen as, like, I get the vibe that some people in my family and some people outside of that don't think that I'm busy enough, or don't think that I'm doing enough, and that's not true. It's just a good portion of your time when you're freelancing is spent pitching. And you do have to balance that with the actual work that you're doing so that you're hitting your deadlines and that everything is working well. And a lot of people who freelance do so that they can spend a lot of time on creative endeavors, which is something that I have been doing, and it's the reason why I get to film stuff like this. So I'm grateful for it, but I do think it's worth noting those inconsistencies and the way that people often view freelance as like a failure if you're not running like a multi-million-dollar business, which isn't fair. I'm lucky because I have a partner who supports me and knows that this is something that I need. The flexibility is something really crucial, especially if you're sort of on a timeline for, needing flexibility at a certain point. So for example, I'm going to get my PhD starting in August, and so I can't really accept a full-time job right now. If I did, it would need to be really, really flexible. And I do, to a certain extent, want that experience with a company full-time, but it's not manageable right now, and it wouldn't be fair to a company to assume that they would be chill with me going to classes in the evening and then teaching in the mornings like I'm going to be doing starting in August. And so freelancing is this really great opportunity to still bring in a little bit of income, build up a portfolio, and not rip some company off. Not that I'm too worried about that, but you know what I mean. Like, it's different when you're in a city like Memphis, where a lot of the places that I would want to work are these nonprofits that really need people who are going to be there for a while, versus like accepting a job at a corporation that is going to view me as replaceable. It also gives me time, especially because right now my partner is working from home. We are spending so much time together, and for the first year after we got married, that's when COVID happened. And then now it's been, we're celebrating our anniversary at the end of the month, near the end of the month, and we got to spend so much random time together throughout the day. We've been getting to eat lunch together. There's just little stuff about freelancing that has allowed me to do that, whereas if I was in a big corporate position, or even if I was working at a nonprofit that required me to work on site during COVID, it would have put us both at more risk, and I wouldn't have been able to spend that time with him. I don't think any person right now should be required to work and put themselves at risk in that way. I think that our systems are set up in a really poor manner. If I remember, I'll put links to some additional information, people who are way smarter than me, who are experts in this, down below. But I just think it's really important that those of us who are privileged enough to have gotten to work from home, even if we're not freelancing, need to recognize how big of a deal that was in terms of our own safety, if we were being safe in all other aspects as well. I think another thing that's just worth acknowledging in terms of freelance is, because you make your own schedule and you're beholden to yourself, you have to be really good about setting your own deadlines and then actually honoring those. And that can be really difficult. For example, yesterday I talked about how I really wasn't feeling into writing. And today I wish I had written some yesterday. But I also have gotten a lot better with the help of therapy and other things about giving myself grace when I do things that, when past Jill has done something that maybe future Jill would find mildly disappointing, like not editing or writing, because now I have to do more of that today. I have gotten better about recognizing, like, no, the reason I didn't was because it wouldn't have been good. And now today I can focus on it and do well. And, I had meetings yesterday, and after COVID and everything, any sort of interpersonal interaction on Zoom is really exhausting in a way that it didn't used to be. I am someone who prefers to hang out with people in person. I'm not good at texting back, and I think getting to see a couple friends in person really reinvigorated my energy, and I need to recognize that on days when I have a lot of Zoom meetings, those might be the days that I need to have lower energy work scheduled, because something like a really exciting essay that I have planned, or editing, some of the copy editing that I do to make additional money as part of my freelancing umbrella, I think, I just need to give myself grace on those days. And I did a good job of that yesterday. Woke up this morning and felt a little weird about it. I think part of it was the floopiness of my body. But I'm not saying that that's a reason to not freelance. It's just something to be aware of before you go into that sort of work. Tony just came to the rescue with a couple of books, so we'll see how much of a difference this makes. This is good because, you know, before I was kind of like this. Now this is definitely like a more upright position. I even tried one of those fancy Amazon chairs. I'll put a picture that were supposed to naturally enhance your posture, but my legs kept falling asleep. They didn't like being in that position. So yeah, we'll see if this works. I, again, have my desk gremlins. Tom's like, why are you calling me that? Zuko's the real desk gremlin. The dog hair in this room is unfathomable. Did I say that right? Unfathomable. Yeah, unfathomable. Yes.